dapetin item buku ini? Bentar. Cara dapetin buku yang ini atau enggak atau enggak bisa yang ini. Nah, gampang banget ya. Nah, kalian tinggal gimana ya? Kalian tinggal nah, yang ini. Bentar.
Makanya kan tinggal mendulang keuntungannya aja tuh, kerja santai tapi berjalan, kos-kosannya jalan, hotelnya jalan ya Om. Kayak gitu gimana Om?
But when you're a writer to just write, wouldn't it be cool than it is to actually make it? It's like easy for me to design an amazing video game in a story.
Yeah.
But as you know, it's much harder to actually make the real thing.
I think that could be a good thing, though, right? Because us technologists, we can get locked in by how difficult it is to build stuff. Where writers and futurists, you have the freedom of the written word, right? There's no limit to what you can imagine. And then the technologists more have to, figure out, can we really build it?
Right. And they're the only ones that can really build it. If it was just left up to the writers, all this stuff would remain fantasy. But that's something that I remember hearing about Star Trek, the old Star Trek series. They had those doors that would open automatically, and that's what inspired those doors in grocery stores. Like people at home saw that, and then real engineers went and made it work. So science fiction has always kind of played that role of, what extrapolating where our technology might go. But yeah, that's one of the funnest parts of being a science fiction writer is imagining where the technology will lead us, and then how the technology, once it arrives, is going to affect people's day-to-day lives.
I love it because I think it's the best form of brainstorming is unencumbered brainstorming, without limit. And I think that's a little bit of what you do in your book. So nice job.
Thank you.
Almost like we're taking technology and then we go to pop culture at the same time, like in Ready Player One and now Ready Player Two, like you have this amazing intersection of pop culture with a vision of the future. And I think the reader or the movie viewer can almost get a little bit of a vibe of some of the things that have been important in your life. Can you riff a bit on some of the pop culture influences you've had?
They're endless. Anybody who read Ready Player One knows that my interest in pop culture is very broad. But for Ready Player Two, there are some specific facets of pop culture that I took inspiration from, like John Hughes films. Huge fan of John Hughes movies, especially the John Hughes movies that were set in high school. And he created his own fictional high school, Shermer High School. His high school movies took place like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and
Bye-bye, sekian dari aku.
They all
Bye.
went to Shermer High School. And I was always fascinated with high school being the setting for all these, set in a library.
Yeah, Breakfast Club, one of my favorites. I love the soundtrack as well to that movie.
Oh, so great. Yeah.
So good. Seems like the book was so fun to read.
Terima kasih banyak ya udah ini bukan sembarang roti pemirsa, karena harganya bikin syuk di dada.
Kind of like a speakeasy, that's something that we prefer a lot more. Now for drinks, the menu is completely different than Guzzle. Definitely a little bit more inventive. However, I think my wife and I both prefer the drinks at Guzzle. They're a little lighter and more refreshing. For food, we tried the tuna tartare, which was incredible, as well as the same cucumber from last week. Just can't get enough of it. We also ordered the Japanese A5 wagyu sandwich, which they call the Royale cheese. It was tender and tasty, but for $150, it definitely was not worth that.
Dari tempat saji rotinya aja udah kelihatan mewah ya, berlapis emas gitu. Ya, ini adalah sandwich